So I'm going to step on the toes of my boy Zach here, who already covered this. I think he actually covered it today, and it's kind of annoying because I was planning to cover this for a long while, but I kept delaying it. So my video is probably going to have a different take than his. But as I showed you in the previous video, like one of the arguments social justice activists constantly use is that, no. See, comic books, video games, movies, TV shows, they were always political. So it's the fans that are wrong. The fans, for some reason, make shit up in order to damage brands. And it's the social justice activists that are the real fans because they're sticking up with the comics for all this time. And it's you who are the problem, right? You're the paying customer who is probably an idiot and is being led by far-right trolls in order to hurt these poor multi-million-dollar corporations. Now all they want to do is they want to care about minorities. You know, that's literally the argument. So there's this thing that shows, I believe it was from 2006 or something. Oh, 2008, right? So in 2008, DC Comics decided to show how superheroes lean politically. And it was really interesting the way they did it, right? Because it's true. Comic books always had like some sort of politics in them, but there's a correct way of having politics in your story without pissing off everyone. And there's another way of having politics in your story where you're just shoving down the throat of the reader an ideology, where the characters aren't really characters in a story, they're just props that become the mouthpiece of the writer in order to push some ideological nonsense on the reader. And like there's basically a difference between story and propaganda is what I want to say. So the way DC did it is very interesting, right? They had this fictional elections in their universe, so they didn't even use actual politicians. And you have like people like Davis Brewster and Suarez and and Bob Ridgway, right? And these people are fictional. They don't exist in the real world, but some of them were Republicans and some of them were Democrats. And during the elections, they asked superheroes, like, would you vote for, right? And it's quite interesting. Green Lantern apparently is a Republican. Meanwhile, you got Green Arrow and Batman. They're Democrats. Very interesting. Like Batman, the champagne socialist. Who would have thought? Also, like a lot of people were surprised because Wonder Woman is a Republican, right? Like Wonder Woman apparently is a conservative. And it's like, well, it kind of makes sense. Like she comes from a militaristic island. People say, well, Wonder Woman is breaking gender norms. No, she's not. Like in her little island on Themyscira, women had a very specific role to play, right? Like it was very hierarchical. And the way, like if you actually read the old stories, the way the Amazons in DC would mate and have children is that they would go at sea, they would find a boat of men, and they would have sex with the men. And the men were really happy, you know, because like gorgeous women having sex with you. But after the coitus was over, after the sexual event was finished, they would kill all the men and throw them overboard. It's really dark, but it's basically canon. So yeah, you know, like this is how it was done. And the way it's done is that regardless of which party you lean, you're going to read this comic and you're going to be like, okay, right, this is interesting. You know, this superhero is left-leaning, this superhero is right-leaning. Like, everyone gets represented, you know. It makes sense. And it also creates like this immersion because they act like real people, you know, like not all of them are a hive mind. You know, some people are left-leaning, some people are right-leaning. What I also find interesting is that Superman is actually refusing to become political. He doesn't want to talk about his political affiliations, which I think is really interesting because Superman is like the model, you know, that everyone should be like. So they specifically didn't want Superman to be partisan. Nowadays, if you happen to read comic books, Superman is renouncing his United States citizenship. Like this actually happened. Don't laugh. Okay, he renounced the United States citizenship to be a citizen of the world. Isn't that amazing? I think it made Martha Kent really proud. But if you read Marvel nowadays, right? This is what 2008, like not even 10 years ago, like 11 years ago, right? Nowadays, if you read Marvel, every single superhero is leaning left. All right, like all superheroes are so left that they make Antifa look like the centrist. Meanwhile, black superheroes have like massive, massive prejudice towards white people, and they're also in favor of black supremacy and black identitarianism. They're like Wakanda forever type of individuals, right? Like this is the state of the comics. It's very difficult to enjoy. Like even leftists have a problem enjoying comics right now, unless you're far left. And it's not, like just an event where you have like an election and the superheroes give their politics, give their takes on the No, like almost every single comic is like the superhero talks about politics. So the question is like, okay, well, where are the Republicans represented? Like where are the conservatives, the right wingers, like Donald Trump's policy? Well, they are represented in comic books. It's just that the villains are representing, the views of conservatives. Because you have here like the Red Skull, right? And listen to what it says. We grow in number each time I visit. Thank you, my friends, for your courage and dedication to our cause. I have just come from Europe, my homeland. In fact, do you know what I saw there? It was an invading army. These so-called refugees, millions of them, marching across the continent, bringing their fanatical beliefs and their crime with them. They attack our women and bomb our cities. And how do our leaders respond? Do they push them back and enforce the borders as is our sovereign duty? Of course not, they say. Here, take our food, take our shelter, take our way of life, and then take our lives. Despicable. So it is good to be here where some men still know how to fight. When I was a young man, there was a great war and our two countries did not see eye to eye. But then they all agreed on certain things, the fundamental responsibilities of a nation. Protecting the land through strength, preserving the heritage and culture of the people, offering them opportunity. Now look at the world today. Look where the dead husks that was these United States, how the mighty have fallen. Who is to protect you, I ask? On my flight, I was briefed about these brave patriots fighting the government illegal claims to their land. Who does this land belong to if not the people? This is who your government sees as the transgressors. What about the criminal trespassers who make a mockery of your borders? No, they are protected, of course. But that is only the beginning. Your entire culture is under siege. The principles your country was founded upon lost in the name of tolerance. Your religion, your beliefs, your sense of community, all these are thrown to the trash, and you cannot even speak out against it lest be called a bigot. And who benefits from all this but the vultures feasting on the carcass, the bankers who stole your homes out from under you, and the politicians they purchased? Well, let them call you what they will. I know who they truly are. All right. So this is like the beginning of a revolution. So basically, if you are for the sovereignty of the nation, if you are for borders, if you want to limit immigration, according to Marvel, you're the Red Skull. You're a Nazi. Like this is literally what they're saying, right? Like the only type of person that advocates for conservative beliefs is the Red Skull. No other superhero in the Marvel universe is against mass immigration. No other superhero is for tighter border control. Things that Trump wants. Like basic bitch conservatism is what Trump wants. So if you're a person that is a Republican and you're reading one of these comics, how would you feel? Like, because at the end of the day, it's how the writers want to create this universe, right? They want to create the association that everyone who's on the right and is not a globalist, then clearly they are with Red Skull. And by globalism, I mean like open borders, no nations, no deportations, no USA at all, right? Like that's the new mindset. So I just wanted to show this to people, the absolute state of comic books. I love the fact that Red Skull even talks about tolerance. It's a word I haven't heard in the mainstream media for years now. They used to talk about tolerance a lot. Now they don't talk about tolerance at all. I haven't seen this word at all in the press whatsoever. And I found that interesting to bring up. Let me know what you think. If you like my channel, please share this video on your social media, and I'll see if I can release another video until the live stream tonight. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.